I started I started recording a little before go, but it's fine. This
We
podcast
can
doesn't
sync
have
it up in
to.
post.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter all that much. So I guess I should probably introduce myself. Well, no, actually, not really myself. I should probably introduce my guest, which some of you probably already know, since I mean, I'm assuming most of you are at least a little bit familiar with the cartoon community, or might even be a part of it. And I have Avis Reviews, who used to review cartoons, but now he reads entire scrap, not scraps, Shrek scripts. Why did I say squeck? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do nowadays. I just do a bunch of random shit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, because okay, we are eventually going to talk about this, but I actually the type of content that I mean, maybe not recently, but around the time you came back, the type of content you were uploading back then are ones that I'm probably more likely to watch than actual reviews.
God, yeah.
Except for that Shrek script reading. That one's a little bit too long. I did not
Yeah,
finish
no one
that.
should be. So no one subject yourself for that. There was actually one person in the comments that like answered every question that I asked in that video, so I know that they watched it. But that is the only person on recorded record out of like people that watched that I actually know watched that entire thing.
You know what's the worst part is that he's probably not even gonna receive any like noteworthy award. Like at best,
Yes.
is gonna get his comment pinned in the video.
Yes, there was absolutely no incentive to do that.
It's so dumb. But I mean, credits to him. I mean, I'm sure he probably listened to it while he was washing the dishes. 'Cause that's usually how I watch YouTube videos. But I mean, anyway, so um, we are joined after 4 years. Is that it? I
Yeah.
think it's been 4 years because there was actually a time when we actually planned to collaborate. We were going to review fish hooks, but none of us actually finished fish hooks, and we got quote unquote busy,
Yeah.
and we never did it.
This is like an anime time
And
skip where like after 3 or 4 years the characters come back together.
yeah, except none of us have actually. Well, I mean, we did change a little bit. I don't think we're exactly the same people we were 4 years ago.
Well, actually,
I
I'd
mean,
say we definitely have changed because of the topics we're about to talk about in this video. Our views are entirely different from how they were 4 years ago.
exactly, because both of us were reviewers, and we used to review stuff, and I'm sure none of us are like completely like detached or unwilling to review anything. I'm sure maybe if the right thing came, um if the right subject came, we probably feel a little bit inspired to talk about it, but
Yeah.
we're definitely not on the same spirit that we were back then. Like, I feel like we were a lot more compelled to kind of like either keep up with new cartoons or watch older ones, so we can kind of like share our thoughts on it and kind of provide videos like that. But now things have changed,
Yeah, and in
and
addition to that, like even though our like interest in actually reviewing shit has changed, like I don't really think our interest in media has changed in that like we still like watching like anime and cartoons and like movies and TV shows and shit. Like we still like watching them, but our opinions on how we talk about them on the internet have like completely changed.
yeah, I've recently been watching Megaset Solar. It's just a fucking great show, but yeah, it's I don't even. I mean, I guess I did make a video explaining my history, so I kind of wanted to know why you stopped reviewing. I don't know if you want to go back to like 4 years ago, or maybe like more recently when you try to come back to YouTube.
I think I'll start from more recently because I already made like a 30-minute video talking about why it was a few years ago. But for recently, just like every time I sat down to make a video, I just could not like get it done. Like I tried to make a BoJack Horseman video. Like I watched first I watched the first season or I watched the entire show for the first time, Then I watched the entire show a second time. After the second time, I sat down, I opened Google Docs, and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna make a video. Started working on it. I got like 2 sentences in, and then I was like, yep, nope, fuck this, I can't make this video. And there was another time where I tried to make an Avatar video. Same situation. I opened Google Docs, I tried to make it, and I was like, yep, nope. And there was even a time before that where I made a Futurama video, I finished the entire script, and then I reread it, and I was like, wow, this is a trash video. I'm not voicing and editing this.
Okay. I actually completely relate to that because I don't know if it's been a month already, but like I made a video making like a tier list of all of the all of the boss battles in the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, and I do like that video. I think it's cool, and I promised like during that video I actually promised to make a video talking about the last boss battle. And the thing is, I did finish writing the script, I just haven't actually read it at all because I literally just don't want to read it. And it's not even necessarily that I think it's badly written, it's just that it's literally like a script where I talk about I kind of like look back at some points in the story of Storm 3. And when I thought about doing that, I was just like, I don't want to. I literally just don't want to talk about this because I think this video is a lot closer to reviews than anything, because a tier list, it's kind of like, especially like a tier list of video game missions, it's kind of like you giving like brief thoughts on your experience on it, and it's basically just you talking about how like the mechanics of the games affected how you played and stuff. And I think talking about stuff like that feels a little bit more fulfilling than talking about like movies or television shows, because I'm kind of like reflecting to you all how I experience a certain thing, which I just tend to feel a lot more interested in doing that. And it's why with this video in particular, I just haven't uploaded, and I think it's exactly for the same reason.
Damn. Okay, I gotta say, you definitely gotta upload that video, because I am 1 volume away from finishing Naruto. And one of my goals while finishing Naruto was I could watch those 2 videos. So you gotta upload that so I can watch those videos.
Yeah. I might. I mean, the fucking Storm 4 tier list, it's gonna be a pain in the ass because the mission design is so fucking weird in that game. Oh god. But that's a different topic altogether. But like, yeah, basically what we're trying to say is that we are kind of fucked creatively. Like we cannot revisit the mindset we used to have, like when we were just like, yeah, we're gonna watch, I guess in your case, BoJack Horseman. I literally don't even remember the last time I watched something to review. I think it may have been that show from J.G. Quintel, the new one. Close enough. Yeah. That was the last time I watched something to review. Ever since then, have not done that. And I don't know about you, but have you kind of like felt that watching stuff this way made it either better or worse?
I think like watching something with the mindset that you're going to review it makes the experience infinitely worse. In a lot of ways, it's like trying to have sex while you have a flaccid dick. Like it really ruins the experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's one of those things where, because okay, you can make the argument that, you know, when you watch something with the expectation that you're going to review it, then you're a lot more critical of it. And sometimes, you know, looking at things deeply and critically can actually, you know, help you appreciate that thing in question. And I do agree. The problem, though, is that I don't think I become less critical when I'm not going to review something. I think it's more so that I don't plan out any opinions that I might have to express. That's really the only difference. I don't think I'm less critical. If anything, I think I'm more open-minded, because if I'm not pressured to share my opinions on stuff, then I'm just going to experience it the way it's almost like meant to. Like I'm going to take more into consideration the author's intent and stuff like that. I'm going to take more into consideration trying to like understand the appeal of it instead of trying to extrapolate why I feel the way I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually I agree with the second thing you said, but as for the first thing, like sometimes I kind of feel like if I go in with the mindset that I'm going to review something, I automatically have a little bit of a bias in that like I'm trying to like find things to talk about, and I'm trying to like actually be critical, and like I might even like say something in a review that it's I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it actually is, just because I went in there with a bias of knowing that I need to be critical about this. So I think for some of my reviews, it kind of did have that effect on me.
I definitely do understand. I would say it kind of had that effect on me too. It's just that when I think of, for example, when I'm trying to give a good example of this, but I might not have it right now. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of anime since, since 2017. I've seen a decent amount of them. Some of them I literally did not even plan to review at all. Like at all. Like did not care to. But even so, I picked up on things. I got stuff out of it. Like I feel like for the vast majority of the stuff I've watched, if I really wanted to make a review out of it or try to like make an interesting point, I probably could. I mean, I would have to revisit it because, right now I'm not gonna be able to explain to you the themes of Eurocamp when I haven't even watched season 1 since 2018. So I definitely would have to revisit it, but I feel like at the time when I watched it, I probably would be able to say something about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess it's a little bit complicated, but basically we both agree that it doesn't actually make the experience better, it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
and I mean, that's actually one of the things that especially like made me lose incentive to want to review things. But I also just think that my interests changed a lot. Like, would you say the same?
Kind of, maybe. I don't know. I watch a lot more anime than I do Western cartoons, but aside from that, not really.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I say that my interests change is that I watch clips of VTubers almost every day.
Okay, yeah, I
sorry,
can't really relate to that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean almost every day. I meant almost every hour of the day.
Yes.
And because before there were certain content creators that I was willing to watch their video the moment it was released, but now I don't really have time to watch everyone. Because the way how I tend to watch YouTube videos is that I wake up in the morning, I catch up with all of the clips, like all of the all of
You're
the
subbed to
clippers
like
that I've
20 clip
subscribed
channels,
to.
and you just wake up and you're like, all right, these are 30
I
second
literally
scenes,
have.
let's bang them out.
I'm not. That's not even that far from the truth. So I have like 20 clippers. That's what they call them. That's what people call them, I guess.
Damn.
And I
That
binge
is a
watch all.
crazy morning routine. I wake up and I work out.
I did actually work out a few days ago. I'm planning to work out more.
Yeah, you went outside for the first time in a while. It was very surprising.
I actually. I mean, running was actually kind of fun, but I did get really tired really fast, and that was not fun. But the worst part was actually the day after because my body was fucking aching like shit.
Yeah.
Even today, my legs still hurt, to be honest. But like, yeah, what I was saying? Oh, I was saying that I might spend like an hour or two watching clips of VTubers.
After you wake up, like as soon as you wake up, that's your first hour or two of the day.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not immediately. Like immediately, if I'm being honest, I might just wake up and eat cereals. But basically, like after I eat cereals, I'll just watch clips of VTubers because it's a relaxing experience. I just have to, lie on my bed, open my phone, and check out my subscription, and I'll spend like an hour or two watching them, and then after that, I'll wake up. And I mean, recently I've actually been studying Japanese, so what I'll do is that I'll either start studying Japanese, or I'll eat lunch, or I'll watch anime. None of which involves watching reviews.
Yeah.
And the only period I can think of where I would have time to watch reviews is when I'm washing the dishes. But when I'm watching the dishes, I'd rather listen to music.
Goddamn, yeah.
So yeah, I really don't have time to watch reviews. I mean, a lot of them aren't that good anyway, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, okay, well, even if you did have time for it, which I mean, let's be honest, we could make time. Neither of us have jobs right now. Even if we could make time, like, why would we want to?
I mean, I said this before. Like, literally, the only reviewer I watch is like, "Your movie sucks." He's literally like the only one I watch. Other than him, I guess there's Charlie from Penguin Zero, where he has like most critical, but the thing is, like, I don't really follow him as a reviewer. I just follow him personality, and if he happens to upload videos where he's reviewing a game or a movie, I'll watch it, because I'm like, well, I mean, I already, I like him already, so why not watch this video? It's not because I follow him as a reviewer, the same way how someone would follow Chris Stuckman as a reviewer, you know what I mean?
I think, God, okay, what you just said really, like, I kind of had like a fucking epiphany moment, where I kind of realized that, first of all, I was gonna say that, like, yeah, it's kind of hard to call Critical like an actual reviewer, despite the fact his name is Critical, kind of ironic, but anyway, it's kind of hard to call him a reviewer because it's really not what he mainly uploads, and I think that might actually be like the way to become like an actually good reviewer. Just like, don't make that your main personality trait where like your whole like stick is that you're always like, you look at media with a stick up your ass. Like, if you don't like make that kind of your main personality on your channel, then, and you just like, you view yourself as an enthusiast, basically. You view yourself as just someone that likes this and occasionally gives their opinions on it. I think if you go with that approach, it's like a lot more natural, and it's like easier to take you seriously.
Yeah, I agree. And I say this because, one of the more recent videos he uploaded was a video where he basically like rated all of the anime he's seen. Now, here's the thing. Again, I don't really take Charlie all that seriously as a reviewer, so I'll watch that video and I'll have a good time. Like, I'll laugh at the thing he's saying, and just like that. And I'll definitely say that a lot of the stuff that he said, or it definitely like the way he elaborated on certain points, there are ways where if someone like, say, Super Eye Patch Wolf did the same thing, I would be like, this is a shit video. Because I have a certain level of expectation.
He's shit for multiple reasons.
Yeah, because he brands himself as someone who talks about media critically. Like that's it. That's basically the entire point of his channel. And so you kind of come there with that expectation. But with Charlie, I don't really have that expectation. Honestly, I don't even really care about his opinions. I literally don't fucking care. I just want to see him talk about stuff he cares about. And if he's funny, then it's a good video. But if he's making good points or not, okay, if you're a commentator, obviously making good points is an integral part, but I mean, if we're talking about anime of all things, like, I don't really care if you make good points or not.
Yeah, I think, like, okay, what you said really made me think that, like, I think one of the keys to making a good review is to not just treat it like a review, but to like also treat it as its own form of media, and that you need to be entertaining in that form of media in order to keep people's attention, which I think is definitely Charlie's strong point.
Yeah, I agree. I think Endless Jess, he's someone who used to kind of make reviews. I think that was also the strength of his channel, where he's primarily a comedian, but he's a comedian that is very passionate about video games, cartoons, movies, and stuff. So most of the content he'll upload are in that vein, are in that field.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I do actually think that he makes pretty solid points, but I do still think that at the end of the day, what makes his videos funny are, it's the humor and also the kind of like emotional arcs that tend to go through in his videos. He's actually really good at that. Like his videos are basically like a story. Like they're basically like stories in of themselves, which is why they're good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
And
mean. Like, you have to treat reviews as like their own piece of media. And
exactly.
actually, like, let's go all the way back in time. Let's go to like some of the people that like kind of started the reviewing wave, which are Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like, they literally followed the template that we're talking about right now. Like, they made it reviews, but they also added skits. They also added characters. Like, they made their they turned it into a show, kind of. So like that is like. That's kind of back in the day. That was like the definitive, like, objectively good review, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I know that now people are like, Nostalgia Critic sucks and whatever. I mean, that's fine. You can have that opinion. But personally, I mean, admittedly, I have not revisited his older videos in a long time.
Damn.
So maybe they haven't aged well. But I do know that when I did watch them, they were good.
Yeah.
Like, I really did respect the Nostalgia Critic as a content creator because. I mean, I do think that I don't know if it was 2016 or 2017. I do think that his videos started to kind of dip in quality, but before then, like, I think that he was really good at sort of he used his opinions on the stuff he was talking about as a vehicle for making funny videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I do think that later on he started to kind of take his role as a critic a little more seriously. But if you look at his older videos, like, they're really not meant to be taken at all seriously. Like, they're completely joke videos. Like, his fucking review of Pokemon, nothing about it. Like, I don't even like. Legitimately, if you take that review seriously, you're missing the fucking point.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing serious about. He literally fucking ends the video by basically like accusing himself of being a nostalgia tard, where he's basically like saying, yeah, like the the cartoons that I watched when I was a kid, like, they're just as stupid as this Pokemon movie. Like, that's basically how he ended the video. Like, it's really not meant to be taken seriously. Later on, he did start to take a little more. He started to take his opinions on film a lot more seriously, and that's why. But even then, like, I still think that he utilized that pretty well. Like, he would still kind of like make these almost narratively driven videos where he would use his experience with the movie and the conclusions he reached as a way to kind of like construct the plot of the videos. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what that was like. That was like the theme of the Lorax video, especially.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to think of an example of this, but I think there's a video he once made where he was comparing the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with the Mark Webb. And I think that video is really good because of that.
Yeah.
I also think that his the Ghostbusters 2016 video is also really good because of that.
Yeah.
And I think the Nostalgia Critic videos do have a lot of like strengths. I mean, I guess you can. I guess you can critique some of the things he said. Maybe. Okay,
maybe I want to critique something he said right now.
Base.
Actually,
Okay.
I vehemently disagree with his conclusion that he had in that Spider-Man video that I just talked about. I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies are fucking 20 billion times inferior to the Sam Raimi ones, but I still enjoyed that video because of like not just the review aspect, but like obviously like the skits and the humor and whatnot.
I also, I mean, I think back then I agree with him. Now I don't because
Good. Those they do not as but okay. Spider-Man 3 is the worst of those three movies, and even that movie is still infinitely better than Amazing Spider-Man 1, which is the best of those two movies. Like, let me just put that in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know what? I have a lot to say about this subject, but we've been going on for way too long.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I completely agree. But at the same time, I think that you can also kind of take the opposite direction, where now you have the people, people like Nerdwriter, or all the not just Nerdwriter, but also just other reviewers in general that make like super long, like deeply analytical videos, where they break down the stuff they're talking about. And I I do, I think there's space for that type of content. I think that they can be pretty interesting. They can be educational in some cases. I think Every Frame of Painting was a pretty valuable channel because of that. I think a lot of people learn stuff about filmmaking because of channels like those. But there is one problem though, is that people who tend to make long analytical videos are not that good.
Yeah. Okay. No, okay, this actually extends out a little bit like farther from just reviews to like also people who make like kind of drama videos and shit like that. Like they just make like an hour-long video on some dumb shit that Shane Dawson did. And it's just like to me I just view it as like a vehicle for ad revenue. Like that's all I can view those videos as.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I think that when you make these types of long analytical videos, you have to be sure that you've done enough research on not just filmmaking, but also the thing in question you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think a good example of this is Super Eye Patch Wolf. Now, Super Eye Patch Wolf, I think he's a good channel. I think he's made a lot of. Hang on, I'll let me finish.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
I think he's made some great videos. I think all of his videos on wrestling are bangers. Like they're all amazing.
Okay, wrestling.
But,
yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. I highly recommend it. But the thing about Super Eye Patch Wolf is that what was appealing about him initially was the fact that he was fairly good at representing the sort of general consensus on, especially like some of the shonen that he talked about, and he was fairly good enough at sort of using film language to justify certain things. But the problem is that when you kind of take further steps into analyzing the media deeply, the more people are gonna take you accountable for the stuff you say that might be misinformed. And I think that's the biggest problem with Super Eye Patch Wolf's older videos. Even some of his recent videos are guilty of this as well. Like his video on Bleach, which he eventually privated, has a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
His video on Hunter x Hunter, well, maybe not Hunter x Hunter. I think it was One Piece, where he made he said something about character development that was a little bit iffy. Like, there's a video from Craftsworth where he basically like talked about all of his failings, and I completely agree with that video. And I think that it's something that people kind of take for granted. And I think the reason why this happens is because, let's be real, most audiences, they don't really care if you've done that much research. Like they want like the base minimal information present in the video, that like as long as the video is convincing, then they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's why all these videos get so many like fucking views.
Exactly. And the problem is that I don't care if a channel is convincing. I literally just don't fucking care. I don't care about watching people's perspective on things. To me, that's not valuable anymore. Like it's really not. And so if I watch a long analytical video, then the only thing I'm gonna get out of it are points you're making, and the points you're making are trash.
It's fucking garbage. They make no sense.
Yeah, man. Like oh, fucking hell, dude. Like there's this video.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
We're talking about a specific video? Alright, let's hear it.
Okay. There's this video. I forgot the name. I think it's something Power Escalation in Shonen Anime. I think that might be the title. I don't know.
Oh, was it talking about like the power systems and like Hunter x Hunter and Naruto and Dragon Ball and shit?
Was it specifically the power system? I think it was just talking about power escalation.
Oh, okay. Like how fucking, I don't know, like Frieza art characters like topple Saiyan art characters.
Kind of like that. Hang on, let me try to the name of the video is called Shonen Anime's Biggest Problem. And in the thumbnail it says Shonen Anime the Escalation Problem. Now here's the thing. I for the longest time had not watched this video. And it's mostly because I didn't care. But
Yeah, I wouldn't have watched it either.
like I just didn't care. But I always assumed that this video was just talking about the fact that a lot of shonen battle series tend to start off at a certain power creep, and then as it goes on, it keeps escalating to the point where it reaches a level that feels almost unfamiliar to how it started. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's true. And that's what I've always assumed the video was. But recently, I actually did experience this video.
Experience. This is like a Joe Rogan podcast, and it's an experience.
Yeah. And what I found out is that he didn't just make the point that shonen, like battle shonen series, tend to escalate the power levels. He didn't just say that. He also said that they tend to feel less personal. And I was like, what?
What?
What do you mean less personal?
Wait, what is that?
That doesn't make any fucking
Wait,
sense.
what was the justification behind that phrase?
So I think what he was trying to say is that the higher the stakes are, the less personal the conflicts are going to feel.
That's literally the opposite of. That's the opposite of how that works.
That's exactly the problem I had with the video. Like, that literally makes no sense. Like, the idea of, okay, let's look at, for example, I'm trying to think of a fuck. Okay, I don't know which volume of Naruto you are right now, but I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I have
I'm
like
gonna
10 chapters of that series left.
Okay, so I don't think you have to worry. Like, chapter 1 of Naruto is him having to deal with a chunin. I think he was a chunin. He wanted to steal the scroll that he stole.
Yeah.
Well, no, he actually sent Naruto to steal a scroll.
Yeah.
And then after that, he backstabbed him. Like, pretty low stake conflict, but it still feels pretty personal.
Yeah, and then you have at the end of the series like a guy who wants to literally take over the entire fucking world.
Exactly, he wants to take over the entire fucking world. This dude's literally saying that this part of the story feels less personal, and I'm like, why?
What?
Why does it feel less What is less personal about a dude wanting to destroy not even destroy. He wants to put everyone under an illusion.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not personal? Like, wouldn't you feel wouldn't you feel invested emotionally? Like, wouldn't you be worried? Especially because in the case of Naruto, he's literally entrusted by his fucking parents to save the world. Like, how is that not personal? Like, that literally makes no fucking sense. And this is something I see in every fucking analytical video. Like, they're just shitty points like this that make no sense. And I think the reason why this happens is because people will often feel a certain way, like particularly like a negative emotion. Like, they'll watch something, they'll get a negative kind of impression of it, and they don't know why they feel that way. So instead, they try to come up with a justification for why. But then once they find a reason that makes enough sense, they'll just go with that, even if it makes no sense.
Like that. That's literally the opposite of how
Like
it actually
that.
is. It's so backwards it hurts.
And this is the problem with a lot of reviews. People just don't think about it. Like, people don't think about it that deeply. They don't do research on film creation, and they also don't do research on the thing they're even talking about. Like, I mean, how many times have you seen someone talk about a specific movie or something like that, and it's obvious that the person didn't really look that deeply into the production of it? And again, it's one of those things where I'm not going to expect people. I'm not going to expect people to like do like the biggest fucking research. I mean, especially now, because standards for criticism on YouTube are pretty low.
Yeah.
but even then, like, I think, but like, even if I already expect people not to do that much research, it's also that the reason why I don't watch it, because if they're not entertaining and they don't have, and they're also misinformed, then I'm just like, well, this is fucking dumb. This is a bad video.
Yeah, fuck that. I think this is actually a perfect time to bring up something that I wanted to bring up ever since you like approached me with this idea to do this video. And so you were talking about like how, oh, these people don't really do much research on like film creation and like the production behind the piece of media they're talking about and all that. And that really made me, like, that reminded me of this comment that, like, fucking changed my entire worldview on all this. And this comment was on your video that inspired this video, the rise and fall of my interest in reviews. And I'm trying to find the comment here because I want to like read it word for word so I don't get anything wrong. Let me try to find it. I think, oh yeah, it's this comment. Okay, so the comment reads, great video, earned a subscription with this one. I want to reiterate that I do like analysis and review, but I want there to be substance behind it, rather than it boiling down to a shouting match about personal preferences. The best advice I can give anyone regarding art analysis is to learn upon history, culture, psychology, and philosophy. Ultimately, these are the elements that every story ever told is built upon. Now, I don't necessarily agree that like those 4 elements exclusively are really what everything is built upon, but I do agree that researching upon those 4 elements and trying to be like more educational behind the process of the media you're talking about is infinitely more valuable than just like spewing out your personal preferences, which is what I think that person was trying to say. And that's something that like that was kind of a mindfuck when I read that.
Yeah, I completely agree with him, especially the part about personal preference. Because here's the thing, I think that and this is something that I actually, you know what, fuck it, I think this is the best opportunity to bring this up because I think that a lot of reviewers have this sense of importance and authority.
God,
where
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
they'll establish themselves as a voice in whatever media they're a part of, and they'll give a lot of importance to the opinions they have. So that way, if they either like or dislike that, they'll want to establish that so that people can take that. And, well, I mean, after that, it's completely up to the audience to decide what they're going to do with that opinion or not. If they want to agree, disagree, if they want to base their whatever they watch off of that. But that's basically the role they play. And I have a lot of problems with this because, first of all, I don't think that being a critic is inherently that that worthy of being some kind of authority, because you're just a critic.
Well,
you're just a dude that...
Let me actually push that like idea a little bit further and say being a fucking YouTube critic. Like, okay, maybe if you're working for like Rotten Tomatoes or something, or if like you're like an officially registered critic and you've been to college and shit like that. Okay, maybe you can make an argument. But being a fucking YouTube critic, where literally your only requirements for your job is that you know how to type in Google Docs, you know how to use Audacity, and you can use fucking Windows Movie Maker. Like that, there's a very low standard in that regard.
Yeah, like I agree. And I think that inherently, like, sort of seeing yourself as an authority on something is already kind of flawed and almost egotistical. But even with that, the fact that people see themselves that way, but still they don't take step forwards into analyzing the stuff deeply, like doing research on that, to me just kind of defeats the point. Like, at that point, why should I even see you as some kind of authority on the stuff that you're talking about when you don't even really do that much research on it? And I think it's one of those things where it's especially concerning because I think that at the end of the day, I think opinions inherently are sort of like, they're going to inherently be kind of subjective. Like, I think everyone
that's the definition.
Yeah, like, I think that opinions are inherently subjective, and this is one of the things that you should have the self-awareness to realize. And so when you establish a career where you share your opinions on something, then you kind of have to ask, why should people listen to my subjective opinions? Like, why is that inherently valuable? And I think a lot of critics fail at that.
Yeah, they really answer that question.
Exactly. Because there are definitely some ways you can do it. First, you can have a unique perspective. And I think that there are some YouTubers that are very good at that. Like, I think Best Guy Ever is a good example of that, because Best Guy Ever, he has an ethos. He has a certain like specific ideology that's inspired by Gurren Lagann. And you can kind of see that in every time he talks about a series or a video game, where he tries to like interpret that based on that ethos. And it's one of those things where I can only get that by watching a Best Guy Ever video. And that's why I'll watch whatever video he makes. And there are other examples of that are the truth that are also true. But you can also take a step forward and also be someone who maybe studies the work itself by, for example, looking at interviews from the author and stuff like that. And that way you can maybe provide a certain context or perspective that maybe wasn't that well communicated when people watch the series initially. You know what I mean? I think those things can be valuable.
This is going like even beyond reviews, and this is just going into like just basic like markets and shit, where it's like if you want to survive, like you have to give people a reason to want to like buy into your product, or in this case, watch your videos.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's one of those things where, I mean, this is just me speaking like for me, because obviously you don't actually have to. I mean, you do have to worry about these things, but not as much. Like, you can definitely be like the most generic reviewer and still strive on YouTube. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
But I think that if you want to be an interesting reviewer or reviewer analysis, whatever, I think these are things that you have to take into consideration.
It's kind of the difference between someone who literally just like licks their boss and then someone who's actually like good at their job. Like, they both keep their job, but for two different reasons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's title, thumbnail, and marketability. That if you want to be a successful reviewer, but if you want to be a good reviewer,
yeah,
then take these things into consideration. And I also think this is one of the reasons why I eventually just completely lost interest in the cartoon community in specific. Even though I do actually think that it may have gotten better over time, because the last time I kept up with the community, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, I think the last time I kept up with the community was during the Cosmodo drama, but that was for a different reason.
Yeah, it doesn't even have anything to do with his actual like videos. It has to do with behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that with the cartoon community, it's a bit complicated, because I feel like it's always been like a pretty niche community relative to others on YouTube. And so as a result, a lot of the biggest influencers, for one, they're not even really that big.
Yeah.
Like, Pie Guy Rules, even though he's smaller than a lot of cartoon reviewers right now, he's still a major influencer. A lot of people were influenced by him. Mm-hmm. And there aren't that many. And so I feel like this kind of created a cycle of repetition where people were kind of inspired by the same few people. And this kind of made stuff a little bit monotonous and kind of boring.
Yeah.
And
really,
especially when the people influencing, like the big influencers, weren't even really that good. I mean, Pie Guy Rules, maybe not, but I mean, when we look at people like Phantom Strider,
goddamn. Okay, I was supposed to say who are you talking about specifically, but you already gave a name. But I am sitting here in my chair, and I'm looking at my Audacity. I'm just thinking to myself, when are we gonna bring up the name Mr. Enter?
Mr. Enter. It's really fucking funny because so much has changed since then.
Oh, like, okay. Now that I think about it, okay, it's bad to bring up because of what shit he's been on recently.
Yeah, but although one thing is for certain, like Mr. Enter definitely did play a huge role in pioneering the community as a whole.
Yeah,
I think that there are a lot of opinions, whether it's to counteract or agree with, that a lot of them were based on a lot of the ideas that Mr. Enter presented back in the days.
He was
like,
kind
for
of
example,
the leader of like a lot of the like opinions that were very prominent about SpongeBob back in the day, like how like the newer seasons are shit and all that.
Yeah, or even just something, even just small statements that he's made. Stuff like, for example, how he thought that the 2000s decades was shit, and a lot of people sometimes would even base entire topics off of that, where they try to either disprove or prove that. And so, yeah, Mr. Enter is definitely like a big influencer in the cartoon community, uh, both for good and for bad reasons.
Yes. And now he's just a fucking political hellhole.
Ah, it's really sad,
Yeah.
man. Like literally, no one likes him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, like I actually kind of was a defender of him back in the day, but now I don't have much to say about him.
I mean, I don't even fucking watch his videos, dude. I literally just don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
dropped
I
off.
watched. I think I watched his Rise of Rise of TMNT Nikorama review, and that video was terrible.
I have not
And
seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, so I actually have no idea whether it's good or not.
I've seen some episodes. I haven't seen that much, but the video was terrible. Like, I'll say that. So like, yeah. But there's actually something else that I wanted to bring up. I also think that I've been interested in fiction writing. a
Oh
lot
god,
more
yes. Okay, this is
recently.
such a good topic. Because this is something we're both into.
Yeah, because I think that I think that this was something that was always kind of like in the background, in the back of my mind, where I always thought to myself, okay, I'm learning all these like arguments for film, stuff about film critique and stuff. I'm listening to other people share their opinions on what's good and what's bad writing and stuff, and I think I've always knew that all of this information would eventually pay off in some way. I think that I was almost like subconsciously watching reviews so that I can learn how to write fiction. Now that I'm actually writing fiction, I realize that a lot of what I quote unquote learn is not really that helpful.
Yeah.
but,
I mean, okay,
but
really, like transforming from a critic into a writer, that's like the definition of putting your money where your mouth is.
yeah, like I think I honestly think that me taking fiction writing more seriously has definitely changed my perspective on media criticism as a whole, because now I look at things, I'm like, man, writing is fucking hard.
It is,
And
especially when you're in
it's
a
so
second
much
language.
it's so much easier to look at things in hindsight than it is to actually build an entire narrative. And it's one of the reasons why whenever I see people being very condescending and dismissive about the stuff they review, I'm like, well, I mean, at least they're doing something.
Yeah, I always like, okay, like something that's really like shaped my view of reviews in the past like year or so is the fact that like I can only view reviews now as meta content. Like it's not actually like real content to me anymore. It's just like meta content. Like your premise of your content is that you're talking about someone else's content, which like, I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fine, but it's like still at the same time, it's like I guess I'm kind of someone who just like now is more interested in just like viewing actually like original content.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's actually that's actually a very good that's actually that's actually a really good point that you raised, because when I think of the YouTube channels that I watch now, a lot of them are, you can almost say like they're like original. Like I don't really like, okay, I guess maybe shit, like even like shit post videos. Like I think that even those types of videos, they are still kind of like taking
clips.
that's existing. VTuber clips, they're definitely original.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
yes, they are definitely original. I was just making a joke.
But I was making I was more so thinking about these sort of like me, like, because I watch a lot of like Yakuza meme videos, but even those ones, like they're joke videos where someone actually took something and in a way sort of made a joke out of it, whether it's through them writing or just something that they thought about while they were editing it. I think that I think it's still a form of entertainment where they're using their own almost sense of humor to provide something fun, instead of looking back at something and saying if it's fun or not. And I just kind of respect that type of content a bit more now. And it's not that I don't care about reviews anymore. Like, I mean, again, like I'll watch Your Movie Sucks because Your Movie Sucks. He makes great enough videos for me to tolerate all of the stuff that I've been growing very ill towards reviews. But even then, like, I'm just saying, like, if I have to pick between a 15 long video where someone talks about a certain thing, or watch a 15-minute long video of a VTuber doing a live 3D concert, or not even just concert, like they can literally just fucking answer questions and do quizzes and stuff, I'm probably gonna pick that one.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, they're creating something that's more original. And it's also kind of the reason why I'm more shifting away from YouTube in general, and I'm just trying to like strictly focus on media. Like I've been watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter recently, and fucking like I'm trying to focus on that a lot because like that's like it's an actually original show that's like more original than all the shit that's on YouTube.
Also, I'm glad you brought up Hunter x Hunter because people fucking say that shows like a deconstruction of shonen or whatever. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this is literally why I don't want to watch reviews
fuck
anymore.
that, yeah. Yeah,
this
no.
is literally what I'm trying to avoid.
That's a
like,
really dumbass point. Who is saying that?
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people legit fucking believe that.
That is
like, it's
so
really
dumb.
like
I love Hunter x Hunter. It really is probably in like my top 3 favorite shonens, but like holy fuck, that's a dumb point.
Yeah, like cause like okay, I'm gonna fucking rant about this because I've been wanting to rant about this for a fucking long time. Because look, I also love Hunter x Hunter. Like I'd say, I mean, I like I think Gintama is like my #1 favorite, battle shonen, but I'd say Hunter x Hunter. I'd put it like a second place. I'm pretty confident saying that. I love Hunter x Hunter. I like it a lot more than a lot of other series. But I think that people, when they talk about it, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like they literally haven't seen any other shonen out there. Like they say shit, like they basically give Hunter x Hunter credit for stuff that it doesn't actually do like new. Like saying stuff like, oh, how it's dark, or how it has characters that are morally ambiguous, or how, like, what else do people fucking say that's stupid?
It's the best series ever. That's one. That really gets on my nerves.
I mean, if the best series ever, that's fine. Or how it's a fucking deconstruction of shonen. Like Hunter x Hunter is just a fucking shonen series, dude.
It's fun.
Like that's literally all it is, dude. Like it's really not that fucking different from any, like, especially because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who say that they've literally only seen Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball. They haven't seen anything they haven't seen anything else.
Yeah.
They base their opinions on 3 shows, and because Hunter x Hunter just so happens to do a lot of things differently than all those 3, then it's like, well, that must mean it's a deconstructed. No, because first of all, it's not even that different from those shows. First of all, and secondly, there are other shonen out there that also do stuff that's different. Like, doing something differently is just, it's a pretty normal fucking thing to do when you write an original series. You're obviously going to implement things that deviate from what came before or even after. Like, that's like a very normal. I think what makes people believe that Hunter x Hunter feels like some kind of like commentary or deconstruction of shonen is just because of the fact that Hunter x Hunter will subvert your expectations a lot. And I think that's true. I think it does do that a lot. And that's cool, but it doesn't make it a deconstruction. It just means that Togashi likes to fuck with his audience.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. There is this one video that I've been memeing for like the past 4 years. I looked for it the other day and I could not find it for the life of me. But the video is this guy who's ranting about Hunter x Hunter, and he says, word for word, so if you guys don't know, Hunter x Hunter is a story about 2 gay kids going on an adventure. And I memed the shit out of that with like Doggo and a few other people. God,
I mean,
I wish I could find that video so badly because it was so funny the first time I found it.
Oh god, I wish I could see it. I mean, I don't I mean, I don't know if have it's been. I mean, have it? I don't know if it's been implied at any point in the series, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were. You know.
Okay. This is a very sticky topic. No pun intended. But like, I don't think it's ever. I gotta be very careful with how I word myself here. I don't think it's ever been like actually like directly stated or anything. It's just like people speculating. Although there is actually a gay couple that is confirmed as far as I know, but it's not Gon and Killua. It's Hisoka and Alumi.
Uh, okay. You know what? Hisoka is not a. Oh no. I'm gonna get there. Hisoka is not a pedophile.
I mean, have you
I'm
seen
just-
that clip where he's like looking at Gon and Killua's ass, and then Killua's like,
Come
"Wait,
on, dude,
Hisoka!"
that clip. Dude, that scene has been taken out of Okay, I'm memeing. I honestly, Hisoka could be a pedophile, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just saying, from what we've seen, I think there are ways you can interpret a lot of his actions that don't necessarily have to mean that he's a pedo. Like that scene in particular, you could say because okay, Hisoka with Gon in particular, but this can also apply to Killua as well. Like Hisoka's obsession with Gon has to do with the fact that he sees a lot of potential.
Okay, I would say that, except for the fact that in the clip he was literally looking at their asses. Okay.
Yes, he was looking. He was looking at his like. Yes, he was looking at his like. He was looking at their asses because he was behind them, and
No, you can look
saw
at their
them-
backs. You can look at the back of their heads. Like, no, he was focused on the butts. He wanted the booty.
I guess that is true. I didn't even think about that because I just was interpreting him as some kind of like repressed, you know. I think these are just like repressed homicidal tendencies where he's so like he wants to kill Gon so bad because he sees a lot of potential in him, but he has to wait until he's actually grown up.
Yeah.
And until then, he has a lot of homicidal urges that he has to keep. And it might come off as sexual urges, and that's how I always interpret it. But honestly, now that you've mentioned the fact that he stared at their asses, maybe he is a pedophile.
There's literally a scene where he says like, "Oh, I'm getting so turned on," and then it zooms in on his dick.
Yes!
It turns
Okay.
in on his dick. He had
He's
a boner. His bungee gum was fucking having the properties of rubber and gum. Okay.
He was getting turned on because he gets off to killing people.
But his dick! It zoomed in on his dick!
It was a coincidence. Takashi did it on purpose.
Yes. His dick was the center point of that scene.
Yeah, it's true. I actually love that scene. I've actually like screenshot it so many times because I like you every time.
Such a good scene. I wonder if
this is
Hisoka's
like-
cum has the properties of rubber and gum.
It depends on how he implemented his Nen ability.
Yeah.
It might, you know, it depends. But I just fucking love that scene. I'm getting really turned on right now. It's just great. It's fucking amazing. And the shot itself is just like I love Hunter x Hunter.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else to say? I think we've pretty much.
Yeah, we're about at the hour mark, so this is probably going to be a good time to end it in a couple minutes.
Yeah. What are you gonna do now?
Oh.
Is there anything you're working on?
Yes. Although I don't want to spoil it. It is actually. It's definitely. It's very much a stretch to call it a review, but it is about a series. And I'm very excited to do it, so you'll just have to wait, but I still have to do more research, and I have to practice a lot of things, and I have to prepare a lot of things. It's going to be very hard to make, but I definitely do have a series in the works.
Okay, well, I'm honestly right now I'm just mostly focused on I guess mostly just studying Japanese as much as I can.
Hell yeah.
And
That's also a priority for me. I'm trying to write as much as I can every day.
yeah, I also have to write fiction more.
Yeah.
I have to think more about that.
Write fiction in
try my
Japanese.
best.
And combine them both. That's what I do.
I can't do that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be able if I even if I tried. But I mean, in terms of YouTube videos, I mean, again, I do have those Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm videos that I have to eventually upload. So there's that. There's also the best girl, best boy series that I made, which like I'm just gonna rant for a second. People are fucking like commenting on my video like, I mean, he's not actually best girl or best boy. I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. I
No.
I really don't like. I saw that like I think it was in my like in my Taiga Isaka is best girl, and someone was like, nah, I don't really agree. She's kind of a brat. I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. The video is not about sharing my opinion on Taiga. It's about funny edits.
Yeah.
It's about the game.
It's like
Why
a
are you talking
GMV, I
about the
guess you'd
actual
call it.
characters? But like, yeah, I'm actually planning on making more videos like that. I kind of want to make a Emi Yusa is best girl part 2
Yeah.
because I think the first video was me trying to test the waters, and I think I don't know. I just kind of want to do more combos with her because she's actually like my favorite in that game. So yeah, I kind of want to do more funny edits with her, and I'm sure I'm gonna get to other characters. So
Yes.
those videos are not doing very well, by the way. None of my recent videos are doing all that well. So I'm not even sure how many people listening to this are even gonna care.
This video's probably
But,
gonna
I
get like
mean-
40 views, but I don't fucking care. It was a fun conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many views this video will get. It depends on how interested people are. But you're right. It might actually just get 40 or 50, which honestly, at this point, it's just whatever. Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
I hope the fact that I said I wonder if Hisoka's Nen has the abilities of both no, fuck, I fucked that up. I hope the fact that I said that I wonder if Hisoka's cum has the properties of both rubber and gum. I hope that gets this video more views.
I mean, the fact that I said that he's not a pedophile might get me the less views.
You're getting canceled for that. You're getting canceled for saying someone's
Yeah.
not a pedophile.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was just joking. I honestly don't care that much. But although Orochimaru is definitely not a pedophile, I'll stand by that. Anyway,
are there people that actually say
what?
that?
Yes, there are literally people who say that Orochimaru is a pedophile.
He's not a pedophile, but he's definitely gay with Kabuto.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. People actually do believe that.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, that's not how it
No,
works.
he's not. I mean, fair. You know what? No, I'm not gonna get into this. It's not worth it. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and hope you all have a good day.
Yep, see ya, cunts.
Good night.